Yo. Alright. Okay, so, yeah, we're gonna be reacting to this horror story thingy. So, yeah, let us go. And, yeah, I can't really hear my mic because it's muted. So tell me if it's like hold on. Microphone's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so we're gonna be reacting to this video right here. And just this looks horrifying. Alright. No, no. What are you talking about? Did you hear this? Oh no. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Gosh golly gee. Hold on. Hold on. Now I gotta make something. Okay. I wonder if you guys can hear that. Let me just kinda. Uh-oh. Okay, and now get this. Can you guys hear that? No. Alright, now I gotta find something else. Audio output? Is it that? I don't know. Device? Headphones? Alright, wondering if. Did he pee stuff? I don't know if you guys can hear that. Here, let me do something. Here, let's just. No! Oh my gosh, this is so annoying. Yeah. I don't even know if anyone's like joining. How do you get it? Application audio capture. Except it's not an application. I wonder if I did it wrong? No. Why is it Roblox? Oh, wait, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I think I'm onto something. This one. I don't know. Do you think it's this one? Okay. Alright, something's up with this. Just. Yeah. I wonder if it's because I didn't wasn't on it. Yep, yeah, I found it. Got it. Alright, I got it, guys. Alright, so now we're gonna restart it. Okay. Alright, guys. Let us. Hey.
Are any of you afraid of being alone? Hello,
Sometimes.
my name is Lucas, and for as long as I can remember, being alone has been one of my biggest fears. Until recently, I was in company. I lived with my wife
It's working.
in this huge house that we had recently moved into. Things with Natasha didn't work out the way I would have liked, and she just left me. After a big fight we had, Natasha took her things and left the house. Don't think I wouldn't like to get back together with her. I do.
His
I try to
face.
call her every chance I get, but she never picks up. After sending her WhatsApp messages, at first all my messages would reach her and she wouldn't answer me, but after a few days, the messages just stopped reaching them, so I have to assume that she changed her cell phone. Anyway, the days without her were getting longer and longer. I missed her a lot and didn't feel like doing anything without her. I didn't say anything to my friends or family. I hid what happened with Natasha as if it was the darkest secret possible. I knew they wouldn't understand me. I knew they would surely judge me.
Bro.
As the days went by, I felt like I was getting used to being alone. I mean, I still didn't like it, but I wasn't as terrified as I used to be. And it was in those moments of learning to accept my loneliness that I realized something. Maybe I wasn't alone. You know, I can't explain.
First off, if you're in a house alone, then I'll get like a roommate or something, because there's nobody there. That would just completely freak me out, bro. Just nobody there. And I'm actually that, like, and you've been there for like a few days or a year, or something. I didn't really listen to how long you and Natasha, or this person, and that his wife, ex-wife, was gone for. So, however long, it must have been like a few like days or like maybe weeks. I'll just get a roommate. That's actually just scary.
The feeling I had from that night on, but I felt like I was being watched at all times. To make it worse, I feared I was becoming—
Okay, now what? You're being watched? You feel like it? That's horrifying, alright?
Paranoid, but I could swear that many times I heard doors open in places in the room where I was not. Things seemed to be put in a different place, and more than anything, I would hear footsteps in different parts of the house. I remember how—
Alright, first off, grab a gun, go to that place, bang! Or, if you're in Harry Potter, grab your wand, Avada Kedavra! Or if you don't find anything, then just use that flame spell, and to burn your house down. Perfect.
How every time something like this happened, I would say the same thing to myself. You are imagining things. Surely this is due to being alone. Or surely it is some noise coming from outside. All these excuses helped me feel better temporarily. Until one night. One night I could no longer deny what was happening. The night I saw someone in my house.
Ew!
A few hours earlier, I had
thing?
fallen asleep on the couch. When I fought with Natasha, I always ended up there, but it didn't bother me since I could fall asleep watching TV. Living alone, you could imagine that I fell asleep almost every night with the TV on without even putting one in the room. I remember that when I woke up, the clock next to me showed that it was after 4 in the morning. I am normally a very deep sleeper, so I never woke up on my own at that time, and that night was no exception. Something had woken me up. At first, I thought it was the sound of the television, but it was off. Before I fall asleep, I usually set the TV to turn off automatically about 2 hours later so I don't leave it on all night. I woke up wondering what could have woken me up at that time. I felt it was a person's voice. Were they trying to rob me? No, they definitely would have made more noise. I raised my head from the couch, and to my surprise, I saw a figure coming from the hallway. It was a female figure that looked very familiar to me.
Amazon
That's
is
actually
overcharging you,
disgusting.
but I can show you how to avoid it.
Don't spend another dime on Amazon.
Was it?
No, okay. Let me just check something. Alright, you see that, what do you do? If you see that, what do you actually do? Kill it? That's disgusting. It's just disgusting, bro. It's gross. What the Sigma? No, grab your shotgun. If you got one. That'd be really funny, just bang! It's just your ex-wife.
I ran towards where the figure was coming from, but I didn't see anyone. I went into my room. Had Natasha appeared? Why wouldn't she tell me anything? Was she playing a joke on me? Or had I dreamt about her and the sound was the work of my imagination? To make matters worse, I tried to turn on the light and it didn't work. I looked out the window and the power cut was general. I guess I couldn't have such bad timing. With the light off and only my cell phone light, I looked for her everywhere. I was sure of what I had seen, and if there was someone in the house, I would find her. After a few minutes of intense searching, I was sure that there was no one in the room, confirming that there was no one in the house either. In the end, it seems that it had all been a dream. I took advantage of being in the room and threw myself on the bed, which was more comfortable than the couch. I closed my eyes and was about to fall asleep until something made me open my eyes again. I felt that someone was lying next to me. I turned over nervously, but the bed was empty. I was quite uncomfortable and nervous. This was not a dream. What had happened? I decided I had to calm down, so I went to the kitchen. A soda would do me good.
Why did
I
they
turned
have
on the
shoes
kitchen
on?
light and grabbed a soda from the fridge. I sat down in the dining room to drink it. This whole Natasha leaving me thing had gone too far. Maybe it was time to let go. What would she think if she saw me now anyway? Not being able to sleep at night, thinking there were ghosts in the house? I always put her first, but maybe, just maybe, it was time to put me first. Hey, it's me again. As far as I can see, you don't get my messages. You probably changed your number or something. In case you happen to see this message, I just wanted to tell you that I'm sorry. I don't know if you left for something in particular or if you just got bored of me, but I always wanted... I'm sorry. I always wanted the best for you. And if what's best for you is to be without me, I understand. Once I sent the message, I felt sad, but at the same time, liberated. I knew I had made the right decision, and even though I knew
There's
that
still
the
a
message
ghost,
might
I'm
never
sorry.
reach them,
There's
and even
still a
though I
ghost.
knew that the message might never reach her, it helped me to try to
Mr.
start over again.
Weird Lips.
From now on, things were going to be better.
There's a ghost in your
Suddenly, I
building.
noticed someone banging on my door. Who could it be? A concerned family
Enemy
member?
spotted.
A friend who wanted to know about me? I got up to open the door, but I saw something in the hallway. A person. But it wasn't just anyone. It was Natasha. What was wrong with her? One of her eyes was twitching, her head was open, and drool was coming out of her mouth. Was I going crazy? The knocking on the door got louder and louder, but I had to follow Natasha. I approached her, and she started walking. I followed her to the basement door, and she just stood there looking at me and crying. I tried to approach her, but the pounding on the door turned into kicks. The noise from the door was intolerable. I fell to the floor, dizzy. I couldn't take another step in Natasha's direction. I looked up once more, but she was next to me. Her face was terrifying. This was not the Natasha I knew. Her skin...
Oh my gosh. That's actually disgusting. Bro, her eyes are bloodshot. The teeth are so yellow. Bro, grab a toothbrush or something. Nah, bro, you need to go to Walmart and get a toothbrush. Bruh, brush those teeth. Why do you got so many of them? I can't count, so y'all have to count for me. Hold up, let me check. My eyes. Ugh. I can still see it. Bro. Oh, dude. It's actually nasty. Disgusting. My... Oh. Ew, dude. Ew. Okay, alright, let's keep going.
Skin had turned gray and emanated a foul, putrid smell. Her mouth was wide open and her whole head and face were filled with blood. This was a monster. None of it could be true. It was a dream, but I didn't know how to wake up. I slapped myself in the face. I had to wake up somehow. Natasha grabbed me by the neck with one hand and lifted me easily, only to throw me a few feet back into the kitchen. My only reaction was confusion and sadness. I cried non-stop without understanding what was happening. I looked ahead once more and Natasha was gone, but the danger was not over. She was no longer alone. The place was full of people. They were cops. They all started to search the house. After a few seconds, two of them came out of the basement and said things that I didn't understand. Confused, I watched as one of them put handcuffs on my hands, said something I didn't understand, and took me to his car. I was scared. I didn't know what was happening to me or why. I just hoped that wherever I was, Natasha would be okay.
Why is...
And will that man pay for what he did to Natasha?
I don't think so. He won't go to jail. His mental state is highly deteriorated. He's completely out of his mind. His lawyer will have him committed to a mental institution. But that's ridiculous. You've already found the tapes. You can see perfectly how the psychopath pushes Natasha and her neck breaks. Do you know what it's like for a father to see the moment when his daughter dies? The moment when he takes her corpse to a cellar to rot? How do you want it to go on after that?
My daughter just wanted to escape from that violent monster. And that's why she ended up dead. Lucas should rot and come in jail.
I know, and I agree, but that's not how the protocol
delirious.
works.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
He is drunk.
But to tell you the truth, I don't think Lucas realizes whether he's in jail or an insane asylum. That man's sanity died along with Natasha. As far as he can go, he can be considered a living dead man.
Oh my gosh! Alright, hold up. What just happened? So, Natasha's actually dead. As soon as Natasha... Wait, that was all a dream? Wait, what? He woke up when he got, hit. And then Natasha's actually dead. And, he killed Natasha. Now he's in jail? In asylum. Am I going crazy? Dude, what? I'm confuzzled. Oh my goodness. Wait, can I change something? Bro, my... What? What? Entertainment? I wonder, can I find horror? There's no horror. Okay. That was just, what in the world just happened? It's just ugly. Ew. No, hurry up. Ooh, tanks. America. That one we're gonna watch next. Story 2.
Hello, my name is Lucas.
Hi, Lucas.
I'm a very distrustful man who's basically afraid of everything. This
Why?
is not by chance, since someone chased me when I was a kid, and I'm still afraid that he'll find me. This someone became a part of my day, and every time I look in the mirror, I'm afraid I'll see him peeking out.
You look like
for the opportunity to kill me.
What's with the
Everything
animation?
started on a Saturday night. That night, my parents had an important engagement and couldn't take me with them, so I stayed home alone. I was 12 years old at the time, and although I felt pretty big and capable of handling myself, my parents were very hesitant to go without me. Luckily for me, the trip came up at the last minute, and no babysitter was available, so they had no choice but to leave me alone. After instructing me that they had left food on the stove and all the phone numbers to call in case something happened, they began to get ready to leave. I was really excited. I had the house all to myself. Obviously, I wasn't going to have a party or anything like that. Being 12 years old, there was really no real way to take advantage of being alone. But that's not what it was all about. What mattered to me was having the freedom to be alone, to have no one tell me what time to go to bed or when to eat. I was happy because from that day on, I was sure I would always be left alone. Once my parents left, I stayed in my room, trying to distract myself with TV and some games.
Ew.
But I couldn't help but feel restless. I admit that my first experience of being alone was a little more frightening than I had expected. The house was too quiet, and every little noise made my hair stand on end. At the time, I couldn't help but think that this was because it was my first time being alone. I would eventually get used to it, but I could never get used to what happened next. A while passed and I realized that I needed to go to the bathroom. I tried to ignore my fear of having to go down the dark hallway, but finally, I couldn't stand it any longer and plucked up the courage to leave my room. I walked down the hallway slowly, trying not to make noise, but all my footsteps sounded loud on the wood and made more sound than normal walking. I decided to keep the fear from overcoming me, so I ran at full speed towards the bathroom, as if trying to fool someone who was in the dark, waiting to attack me. I reached the bathroom and turned on the light, feeling a bit of relief to see that
Flipping me
everything was
off?
in
What the
order.
heck?
Just as I was about to finish, I heard a noise coming from the living room, and I stood still, trying to listen better. What was that noise? Had something
FNAF
fallen,
ambience?
or had someone entered the house? I
Nah, bro,
stayed
pull out your
focused,
deagle
trying
from
to
your
hear
shoe,
another
bro.
noise. And even
Wait,
though
do you
I
not have
didn't
that?
want it to happen,
Oh,
managed
too
to
bad.
hear
You're not
something
that
else.
American.
something much. The laughter of a child.
Burn, darn.
Something as simple as the laughter of a child who could easily be my neighbor left me terrified. My muscles tensed and my heart began to pound. Who the hell would be laughing in my house at this time of night? I left the bathroom and headed towards the living room, trying not to make a sound. With each step, the laughter grew louder and clearer. The laughter was going back and forth as if it was running and laughing for no reason. When I reached the living room, I froze. In the center of the room, standing next to the couch, was a man. A man I didn't recognize. He was staring up at the ceiling, a twisted smile on his face. My first impulse was to scream, but something in me stopped. What if this man was dangerous? What if he had a gun? I
With
stood
his
still,
lips.
watching him in fear.
He does.
Surely an adult would have acted better, but what could a little boy like me do?
Bro, what? It looks like he has a mask on.
The man
You can't tell. Oh, wait. Ew, he's old. Hold on. That's disgusting. Hold on. That's disgusting. Ah. What? You're doing this? Ugh! Okay, sorry guys.
finally looked down at me, and his smile widened even more.
What is with his teeth?
Then he spoke,
You need a
but
toothbrush
his voice
too,
was strange,
bro.
but familiar.
Get a toothbrush.
It was the child's voice I heard before. It was as if he was trying to imitate a child's voice.
What are you doing up, little buddy? You should be in bed at this time of night.
I gulped and backed away slowly, looking for something to defend
Simone.
myself with. The man took a step towards me.
Just
Then I
grab
knew I
your
had to
Harry
act
Potter
fast.
wand of Vada
I ran towards the
Kedavra.
front door, my heart pounding so hard I thought it was going to burst out of my chest. But just as I was about to reach for the door, the man grabbed my arm and stopped me in my tracks, pulling me to the floor.
Oh, no, no, no. You're going with me now. Don't you want to play?
Kick him
No,
in the face with
I
your
don't
shoe.
want to play. Please go away.
In
I'm
the face.
afraid.
Sock him.
No.
Bah, bah, bah.
What are you afraid of, little buddy? We're just two kids wanting to have fun. Why don't we play a
Ugly,
game?
smugly,
Later,
duggly,
I promise to leave.
smugly looking booty.
Will you really leave?
Of course. Best friend promise.
Oh, okay.
What do you want to play? My favorite game is hide and seek. We can play all night. Oh boy. What's wrong with you?
I'm scared.
Don't be afraid. It's just a game.
You'll
Sock him
hide
in
and I'll
the
look for you.
face.
You
He's
have 1 minute.
old.
If I don't find you, you win. If I find you,
I'll tie you to a chair, and you'll see how I killed Mom and Dad.
what?
First, I'll break Dad's legs. Then I'll beat Mom until she's almost passed
Oh
out.
my goodness.
And when I'm done, I'll chop.
Oh. Dude. Oh my gosh. The old smugly duggly. ugly man is a serial killer. I thought he was just a child. Oh. No, dude, no. That's horrifying. Oh my gosh.
Them both up while you watch. You want to know what I'll do next? Please, let me go. Then I'll kidnap you and lock you in my basement. And you know what I'll do to you? Do you know what I'll do to you? No. Nothing. I'll leave you in the basement and never give you food or water.
Oh my gosh!
You'll die, and no one will know where you are. Isn't that great, my little friend? Why are you doing this? You should
Enemy
know.
spotted.
We're both kids, and we both like to have fun. Or don't you like hide and seek? Now go, run. I'll start counting. Desperate, I ran as fast as I could. I thought about running away from the house anyway. He had his back turned, but if I did that, he would surely kill my parents when they came back. I decided to play his game and go hide. I went to my parents' room, the place where I always hid when I played alone. I was going to go behind the curtain, under the bed, in the closet, but all those places were so obvious. I was sure to be found. I thought and thought as much as I could, but nothing came to my mind, until it occurred to me. I moved one of the pieces of furniture that was in a corner, and I stood behind it. There was no way he could see me there. I put the furniture back and hid. Now, I just had to wait. Seconds passed, and I could hear the man coming. And that's when it hit me. The light. I never turned off the light. All the rooms were turned off before. He will surely notice. I thought about going to turn off the light, but it was too late. I could hear him approaching, humming a
Okay. Okay, kid. So, what you gotta do, if I'm in that situation, first off, he's old, alright? Old men are weird sometimes. So, they're also, like, old, you know? Old people are, like, kinda weak. Unless, like, they're, like, one of them, like, big. Like that. Like, big, but like old. And he is not big. I mean, like, he's tall, but like not like big and like strong. He's just old, tall, and skinny. First off, you're a kid. You're more like flexible, nimble, and all that stuff. So, first off, so you get out that place, all right? Then you get up, open the door, all right? Then you juke him out, right? Like, he's gonna try to grab you. Juke him out, push him to the wall, and then you just like jump up, sock him in the face, and then grab his leg and trip him right on his face. And then if you're like strong enough, drag him while his face is just clunk, right on that like the floor. Go clunk. He'll like get a headache really bad, and then let him go. Then start stomping all over his head, just and then he'll get like knocked out, right? And then you can call the police, get him out of there. You're good.
Children's song. He was getting closer and closer, and as soon as he saw the lights on, he realized I was there.
Little friend, unless this is just to distract me, I must confess you started the game wrong.
Once he was inside the room, the psycho started looking for me everywhere. He kicked the bed, broke the curtains, destroyed everything he saw in his path. There was only one place left to check, and he approached it laughing as if he knew I was there. The man approached in slow motion as if enjoying every second before meeting me. He had no reason to think I was hiding behind that piece of furniture. but he seemed to know it perfectly. When I saw that he was about to arrive, fear overcame me, and I closed my eyes, praying that he would just go away. I spent seconds with my eyes closed, and he didn't come closer. Was he gone? I opened them for just a moment, and there he was. His face was staring at me over the top of the cabinet. He had a big, innocent, boyish grin on his face, and he looked so happy to have found me. As soon as he saw me, I tried to run to another room, but he easily grabbed me and put me against the wall.
Oh, so he's a
You
strong
lost.
old man.
I used all my strength to escape, but I couldn't. We're talking about an adult
He's
who
only
looked like a child.
half of his hand
There was
on
no
your
way
neck.
I could overcome him with
move
brute
back,
strength.
Then
As if in
just sock him in the
ecstasy of
face,
having caught me,
bro.
the man
You
pulled out a
stupid.
knife and
Oh my-
showed it to me, as if to indicate that this was what awaited me. I screamed as loud as I could. I knew it was useless, but I had to do it. And to my surprise, it worked. Suddenly, I heard the door and my parents came running to protect me. Once they got to the room, I was alone on the floor. Had the man left? My parents hugged me, crying. They didn't look for my attacker and didn't seem confused about what was happening, just sad. As soon as they finished hugging me, they took me to the hospital to treat my wounds. I told them that there was a man dressed as a boy in the house, but they seemed to ignore me and only responded by looking at me in such a way as if they felt pity. At the time, I didn't understand what was going on, but over the years, I did. It's been 10 years since I suffered that traumatic event at my home. You know, I've suffered many more like it. That man dressed as a boy is always harassing me. He shows up when I least expect it, and he always tries to hurt me. Do you know when he stopped showing up? When I started taking the medication the doctors gave me. My name is Jared, and I have multiple personality disorder. My other personality may not be as developed as mine, but I know that another person lives inside my head. The
Oh
story
my
I just told you
gosh.
was exactly as I remember.
I mean,
But that's not really what happened.
okay. So, it's not real, but dude, he's the old man. He's the old man. Crazy, dude. Oh, hey. He looks like Mr. Clean is crazy. Okay, we're watching animated horror stories. Yes, he does look like a Mr. Clean. Yep. Whoa, dude. Whoa, dude. That's crazy. He has a, oh my gosh, he has a disability, bro. But, Billy left. Oh well. Alright, next story.
The truth is that there is someone of mine who wants to kill me. And that night was not the first time it happened, but it was just the one I remembered the most. Today, as long as I take my medication, I feel much safer. But you know, I know that person is still inside me, waiting.
He still
Waiting
looks
for
like
me to be
Mr.
weak.
Clean, but what's with his
Waiting
lips?
for me not to take my medication. Waiting for me to make any mistake that he can take advantage of, to come out and get rid of me.
In Albion, no matter where you go or what you do,
You're older now, so you can beat him up. Don't take your medication. Bah, bah, bah,
your mouth will accompany you on your journey. Perhaps you'll pick
Most kids get excited at the possibility of a night alone without parent supervision.
No.
Usually that means staying up late, watching scary movies, and eating junk food. That's what I envisioned that night in October, as I pleaded and negotiated
October
with
is
my
worse.
parents. I'm 11 years old now, I said as if I were a mature adult. I don't need a babysitter.
Bro, his eyes
Please?
like.
My parents were going out of town for a work-related night out, and after a lot of pleading, begging, and immature whining, they budged and allowed me to stay home alone. It's only one night, my dad whispered to my worried mom in a consoling tone. He'll be all right. I ran to my room, excited for the upcoming night of unsupervised fun.
He puts his
It
arm
wouldn't take
like
long for that
that?
excitement to morph into panic and terror, as it became the worst night of my
Like
life.
that, his arms look so buff.
Before long, my mom was kissing me goodbye and smiling worriedly. You call us if you need anything. Anything at all. Got it?
Yeah,
Yes,
so there's
Mom.
this
I
guy
rolled
in
my
my
eyes.
house.
I placed my glass of ice water on the coffee table in the living room and let my mom embrace me.
He has like
We
a
finished
gun.
our goodbyes, and before long,
He said
the
he
door was
wants to play
closed.
hide and seek.
I was alone, unsupervised,
And he
for
wants
the
to
first
chop off
time
my
in my life.
legs so
Fear
I
began to
can
creep into the
play
pit of my
like this
stomach.
game called Monkey
What if something
Egg.
bad actually happened?
Yeah. So
Who
can
would
we
I call?
play? His
What would I
gun.
do?
So if I don't, then
I heard my
like,
parents' car
he's
pull
gonna
out of the
shoot me.
driveway, and the tingle fear became stronger, flooding into my head. I ran upstairs to my bedroom window that gave me a clear view of the front of the house. My parents were still in the driveway, pulling out. I watched them, forehead against the glass, as rain began to fall on the window, obscuring my view of their car driving away. Their
Why
car
does that
grew
bus
distant,
keep passing?
smaller and smaller. They turned left at the end of our street, and they were gone. I stayed frozen, face against the glass. I regretted asking to stay alone. What if there was an emergency? What if I burned the house down? My eyes
Well, then
became
you
heavy
did.
with tears.
Cause
I continued to stare out of the
if
window for
I
minutes,
burnt
hoping
down
their
my
car
house,
would
it would be
reappear,
good reason,
turn into
'cause
our
there would
street
be a big
and
spider
into our
just
driveway,
burn.
where they'd tell me their event was canceled and they'd stay home with me. The light post in the corner of the street flickered on, breaking me out of my daze. It was getting dark. Okay, I whispered to myself. If I don't do anything stupid, I should be fine.
Well, you are stupid.
I began
Joe.
to move away from the window when something caused me to turn back. Under the light post, two figures turned the corner and walked toward my end of the street. They wore black sweaters and pants. One looked paranoid. He looked around constantly while the other hit his arm and gestured to keep him looking forward. I stared as the panic began to set in again. Are they coming here? No way. That'd be ridiculous, right? The figures passed the first house on the street. They passed the second one. They passed the third. My house was next. Keep walking, I whispered in a trembling voice. But they didn't keep walking. The pair of men stopped right in front of my house as one gestured at the empty driveway. They argued. The rain began to come down harder. They approached my front door. I could hear my heart beating in my chest now. I let out a small yelp as the doorbell rang. What did they want? Why are they here? I came down the stairs quietly and stood over the welcome mat by the entrance. I stared at the door as the door chimed again. I pressed my ear close to the cold wooden door. I could hear them now. You see, one said, there's no one here. I saw them carrying luggage into their car and saw them drive off. They're not coming back for the night. I don't know, man, said the other, tone oozing with paranoia. Shut up, the other one said. The door handle began to jiggle violently. I pressed my hands close to my mouth to suppress a scream. Fuck it, the paranoid one said. Let's just go through.
No, you can't say that word. No. That's a naughty word, you know. So you say that word. Huh? Honestly, the story is carrying meh. I don't know what that means, except this. It just said naughty word, so I have to go to a new one. It said very naughty word. It said F word, so let's do this one.
How did everyone suddenly get so good at writing?
I'm
Word
not.
Tune. It's your writing wing.
I'm a teacher, and this is something that happened a couple of years ago. It was during my 4th year teaching at the high school that I still currently teach at.
So this is lockdown. Scary,
I teach math,
true
and I had
school.
4 different classes throughout the day that
That's
semester.
a man.
It kept me very busy
Why does
between
he?
teaching, preparing lessons, and grading assignments.
The child.
One day, about a month into the school year, I was teaching like any other. It was the first hour of the day,
Why do you have?
and I was in the middle of going through a problem on the whiteboard.
Oh,
That's when the phone rang in my classroom.
I understand.
I paused what I was doing and
It's
walked over to
because-
answer it.
Oh.
I was told the school was being locked down, but I wasn't told why. After that, the announcement came over the entire school intercom. Some of the kids in class started to talk and asked me what the cause of the lockdown was. I honestly didn't know, and I told them that. I did what I was supposed to do and turned out the lights and locked the doors. I instructed the students to the back of the classroom. There were 20 kids in my class, and they all did what I said, but still wanted to know why we were in a lockdown. I knew this was not a drill, and I was pretty curious myself. I went to my desk and sat down in the chair. Then we all just waited. Minutes went by, which felt like forever. After about 10 minutes, my cell phone started vibrating. It was on top of my desk, and I picked it up to see who was calling me. It was a number that I didn't recognize. I was about to let it ring, but I thought it was possibly information about the lockdown. It may have been from another teacher whose number I didn't have yet. It could have been from another staff member as well. That's what was going through my mind in the moment. At the last minute, I accepted the call. I held the phone up to my ear and listened as I heard a man start to speak. I didn't really recognize his voice. He spoke professionally and told me that I was needed in the principal's office immediately. I asked why, and I was told that it would be discussed when I got there. I was very confused. I said I couldn't leave my class, and I was told that I needed to go anyways. Then he hung up. I saw my students looking at me, no doubt wondering what I was told on the phone.
Bro, this guy is so ugly. He looks like Gru's child, bro.
And asked. I told them the truth and said somebody asked me to the principal's, and I really didn't know why. I was debating whether I should go or not. I got up from my desk and walked over to the door. Then I looked out the window and into the hallway. It was very empty. But then I saw someone. It was sort of far to the left, just barely in my sight. There was a man standing there wearing all black, including a ski mask. I quickly moved back after seeing him. One of the students asked me if I was going to go, and I said no, I wasn't. I told everyone to stay at the back of the class, and I joined them. I had no clue who the person in the hallway was, but the fact that they were wearing a ski mask could not be good.
Do teachers not
I didn't want my students to know that the person was so close, though.
Enemy spotted.
Bang, bang, bang. We couldn't hear anything from out in the hallways. It felt like forever, and the more time that went by, the more worried I became. I got another phone call on my phone from the...
If you are in a situation like that, first off, it looks like he doesn't have a gun, right? Hold on.
That the person was so close, though. Things were...
He doesn't have a gun, right? Alright, so grab your...
Very silent for a few minutes.
Get them,
we couldn't hear anything
give them
from
a
out
chair.
in the hallways.
Alright.
It felt like forever, and the more
open
time
the
that
door,
went by, the more
run out,
worried I became.
smack him in the face with chairs,
I got another
and
phone call
start
on my
beating
phone
him
from
up
the same
with
number,
chairs.
but I ignored it. They called back again, and at that point, I turned off my phone entirely. We all waited in the classroom for almost an hour. Finally, I got another call on my phone in the classroom. I walked over and picked it up. I was told that the lockdown was over, and then there was an announcement over the intercom letting us know. Class was over, and I let the students out. When I found out more details from the lockdown, I couldn't believe it. The person in the ski mask was a former student of our high school. He was also a former student of mine, who I had failed. He came back to the school, and he was the one who called me on my cell phone as well. I'm not sure how he got my number, but he did. He was trying to get me out of my classroom. I'm not sure what he was planning to do then.
Bro, just hit him with a chair. Bro, he looks ugly, smugly, duggly. Illy, yeah, Illy, you gotta agree with me that he looks ugly, smugly, and duggly, bro. His teeth was all crooked, right? I can subscribe to myself, oh man. Yeah, alright. Are you gonna chat again or no? Because he was ugly, smugly, dugly, and bugly. Honestly, I'll check back in 3 minutes. So
I don't want to think about that. Luckily, he was spotted by a faculty member, which sent the school into a lockdown. Eventually, the police came and were able to locate the suspect and catch him, although he was able to evade them for quite a while. I still can't believe it, even to this day. I can't imagine.
okay, hold on. So one day, it was about like wild. Okay, so one day, I was in class, just teacher teaching stuff, and then the alarm goes off, and we're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? We look at Miss Egg, and she's like, it's okay, guys. I just forgot that we had a lockdown drill, but it was actually real. My teacher, just wanted to calm down the situation, and then we all got in the back corner, and then she was looking out there, looking out the window, looking stuff, she was kind of looking worried. And then when it was over, it was actually real, but except it wasn't, because a disabled kid pushed the button for the emergency drill. Like an autistic kid, wild. So, yeah, that's my story of a lockdown drill. So, yeah, let's keep going.
What would have happened had I left the classroom. It was too strange, though, and I never really seriously considered it. I could tell that something was really suspicious. Still, I will never forget seeing him in the hallway. It was one of the scariest sights of my life.
Unrelatable? Shooting? 3 headshots with a pistol. That's easy. You're talking about.
This happened when I was in high school. For some detail, I'm a female and was a junior at the time this took place.
You don't sound like a female.
I used to walk to school and back every day because I lived pretty close to the school. So it would usually take me around 10 to 15 minutes to walk there, and I would take sidewalks basically the entire way. One morning, I left when I usually did at about 7:30 a.m. because school started at 7:50. After walking out the front door and leaving my house with my backpack, I saw a car on the side of the street. It was right in front of the sidewalk where I would walk past. I had never seen it before, so I didn't know who it was. I planned to just go right past it, but when I did...
Ew, what is that? No, what is that thing, bro? Ugly, smugly, duggly, uglier than the other guy, bro. Nah, that's disgusting. Ew. Bro, it's just a copy. Just this one's uglier. This one's still ugly, but this one's uglier. Hold on. Bro, look at that. Look at that, bro. What the? Ew. Hello, other concurrent viewer, I think. So yeah, we're other person, we're reacting to animated stories. So yeah. Okay.
I saw the passenger side window rolling down. Somebody said something, and I looked over. The car was an older, dark gray beast.
They're uglier with the window rolled. Oh, dude, nasty. Oh my gosh. Dude.
BMW, and the driver was a young-looking guy, but seemed to be a little bit older
Joker
than
and
me.
Joker had a
He then
child.
asked me if I needed a ride to school. I had never seen this guy before and didn't
It's
think
a
that he
guy?
even went to my
What? It's a guy? What? Ain't no way that's a guy. I'm sorry. It's Joker's son. Okay, it's Joker's son. Okay, fine. Let me just... Bro, Illy, it's a guy. Bruh. It's a guy, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
He told me his name was, I think, Ryan, but I can't remember
What?
exactly. He said which
That's a cool name! Not for an ugly, smugly, dugly guy, bro. That's disgusting!
school he went to, which happened to be a school in the next city over. Then he said that he was good friends with Erica, who happened to be one of my best friends. Apparently, he was going to pick her up, and she asked him to pick me up as well and give us both rides to school. I said no thanks. I had never heard Erica talk about this guy before, and it just seemed
Okay, first off, ugly, and the other guy's
Very
still
weird.
ugly. This
The guy asked me why not, and I said maybe some other time. I wanted to confirm with Erica if she knew this guy at all. I figured there was a chance that she was friends with him, but she hadn't said anything to me about this. Obviously, it was a little bit suspicious. The guy seemed disappointed.
Okay, yeah, I can kind of see that's a guy. Only kind of. Just a little bit. I mean, I still kind of see it as a woman.
But ultimately said okay. I kept walking down the street as he pulled away in his car and drove past me. But right when he got past me, he stopped his car on the road. He rolled down his window again and said, "Last chance." I said no again, and then he finally drove off. I walked the rest of the way to school and got there at basically my normal time. As I was walking, I texted Erica about it. In that semester of high school, my first hour class was English. By the time I got to class, I had gotten a response from Erica. I usually didn't get to see her before school because our first hour classes were on the opposite ends of the school from each other. She said that she didn't even know who I was talking about. I had a feeling that's what she was going to say.
Erica's ugly
This
too.
was a mystery to me of who this guy really was and why he tried to pick me up in his car.
Cause he's a
He knew that I had a
kidnapper.
friend named Erica, and he also knew where I went to school, but I didn't know him at all. During that same first hour English class, probably about 30 minutes in, the school went into a lockdown. I had no clue what it was for at the time.
Ew, what
We had
is
never had a lockdown
that?
before in my entire time at the school. Just a few drills. We were all told to
I
sit at
wanna
the back
try
of the
to
class.
start
The classroom
animation.
lights
That
were
would be,
turned
like,
off,
really
and the
fun.
door was locked by our teacher. We all sat in mostly silence for what felt like a really long time. It didn't really last that long though. It was probably about 20 minutes. Eventually, the lockdown was lifted. By that time, we were all very curious as to what was going on.
It
By
was
the
the
end of the
ugly.
day, I had found out. A man
What? I'm sorry. Why is he now bloodshot with sharp teeth, bro? What is he, a vampire? Bruh. Oh, crazy because he was pale? Or something? I don't know. Oh my gosh, dude. He's ugly, smugly, dugly, and bugly, bro. I'm sorry. You can't. It's just the truth. He's ugly, smugly, dugly, and bugly. Bruh. Oh my gosh, dude. Just looking at it is disgusting.
apparently walked into the school after class had started and right past the receptionist. The only door that was open after class started was the front door. He was then spotted by a hall monitor who asked him for a pass. The guy walked past him without saying anything and went to the locker commons. Then he hid there, and the school was locked down. Unfortunately, the guy ran out from the locker commons to the nearest exit and was able to get out. The school and property was searched, but he had gotten away. It was good that he was gone, but it was also bad that he wasn't caught. Some of us were wondering where he went, but it could have been anywhere. There was large woods behind our school, and I think they pretty much gave up on the search when they found out he wasn't on the school property anymore. Still, I had no clue who the guy was who had been inside the school. I didn't even connect the dots at all. After school that day, I walked home like I always did. I was less than halfway there when I once again saw the car that was at my house earlier. I got a bad feeling. This guy was not who he claimed to be, and I knew that. The car was parked on the side of the road again, on the side that I had to walk past. I sped up and started walking faster, but when I got even with the car, once again I heard him say something. His window was already down, and the guy said hi. I looked over and said hi, all while continuing to walk. He then told me to stop. I didn't and ignored him. Then he said, "You know I was in your school earlier." I stopped and couldn't believe what I was hearing. He then started to laugh, and it was really creepy. He basically bragged about how they had locked the school down, and he managed to escape. As he was saying this, he opened his car door and got out. I walked even faster until the guy started to run. Then, at that point,
Nah, bro,
I had
grab
to
your
start running
backpack.
too.
If you got like a rock in it, just
It seemed as though he was a little bit faster than I was.
Do you guys not have rocks
I could
in your
tell that he was
backpack?
gaining on me. I left the sidewalk and
I'm sorry. Do you guys just not have rocks in your backpack? I sure have a rock in my backpack. Boom.
ran out into the middle of the road. Then came possibly one of the luckiest moments of my entire life. A car started driving down that otherwise quiet road. I ran straight for the car, and when I got close, noticed that it was somebody that I actually knew. It was one of my classmates, a guy named Matt. He saw me and stopped his car. I ran for the passenger side, while the man chasing me continued to come after me and was about 20 feet back. I got inside of Matt's car and told him to lock the doors. The guy chasing reached the car moments later. The doors locked, and the guy tried getting in and then began pounding on the door when he couldn't. Matt asked me who this guy was, and I told him to just get out of there. He drove away, with the guy standing in the street. I explained to Matt as I got out my phone to call the police. I told them everything, and Matt dropped me off at my house a short time later. The police came out and talked with me and my parents, and said that they would look out for the car that I described. That same day, the man was located by the police. He had been stalking me for several days without me even knowing. I'm not sure exactly why he went into our school. Maybe he was waiting for me to get back to my locker. He could have honestly passed for a student because he looked young, but he was actually in his mid-20s and not a student at all. This was years ago now, but I still remember it all the time. I'm really glad Matt was driving by when he did.
Bro, your face still looks ugly,
smugly,
dougly on the window, bro. Say idiot. Honestly, these ads are ugly, smugly, dougly, too, bro. Ouch. It's good,
One day,
Miles
I was
Morales.
in school for a seemingly average Thursday. I was a senior in high school and in my third-hour history class. This was one of my favorite classes because the teacher was really cool. For this story, I'll just call him Mr. Smith.
Bang!
Mr. Smith was very laid back and would give us a lot of time to do homework in class. We would rarely have any actual homework because we could get it all done before we left. He would teach for a bit in the beginning, and then the end of class would pretty much be like study hall. We could talk and get work done. He would even let us go on our phones or listen to music as we worked. So on this day, it was a normal class period. I often had my headphones in as I studied, and I did on this day. We were working on our assignment, and I got done early. I would joke around with Mr. Smith sometimes, as did other students. I remember that I went up to him to turn in my assignment, and he asked me if I wanted to do him a favor. He said that he had to give back some iPads to another teacher. We had used them the previous day for a group assignment thing. There were about 10 iPads in this carrying case. I was happy to do this because it was something to do to get out of class. He wrote me a pass, and I took the iPad case. It was supposed to go to a teacher's classroom that was a little ways away.
Why do they run like that? I don't know why they run like that. They just oogly boogly, smoogly doogly. So yeah, pretty much, they be, stuff, you know? They run like that because of the animator. Yeah. So, yeah.
I left the classroom with my headphones still in, and I unpaused my music. Then I started walking through the empty hallways to the other teacher's classroom. At this point, there was probably about 15 minutes left of class. Soon, I reached the classroom that I was supposed to go to. I tried opening the door, but it was locked. I could see in the window as well that all of the lights were off. I found this a bit odd, but quickly figured that the teacher wasn't there. She probably didn't teach a class during this hour or something. I turned around and started to head back to my classroom. I walked about halfway back when I saw something up ahead. There was a spot where two hallways intersected a ways up. I saw a man up ahead who I didn't recognize. He clearly wasn't a teacher, and I didn't think he worked at the school either. It struck me as suspicious right away.
Bro, what's with his face here, dude? I'm sorry, what? Bro, his face is just... I like to shake my thing. Bro, to be honest,
for about a second
I bet you
because he passed by one hallway
I could animate pretty well.
He didn't look in my direction at all.
If I actually tried with like a pencil, maybe like a pencil drawing stuff.
I kept walking up ahead, and when I got to where the man had walked past, I stopped and looked down the hallway first. When I did, I saw the guy again. He was a long ways down, near where my classroom was. It appeared as though he was looking for something. I didn't want to go down there, and I started walking in the opposite direction. I took out my headphones at that point. Everything was silent. I didn't really know where I was going anymore, and I was trying to figure out what exactly was going on. After walking around the empty hallways for like 5 minutes, I thought maybe the man was gone by then, and I started heading back for my class. When I got back to the hallway where I had last seen him, he was gone. I was just glad to see this, and I started walking down the hallway for my class. Just a few steps later, though, I heard footsteps coming from behind me and around the corner. They were going towards me, and there were some bathrooms right there, so I just went inside. I didn't know who the person was, but I really didn't want them to see me. By now, I figured that they weren't supposed to be in the school. After going inside of the bathroom, at first, I just waited inside. But when the footsteps got closer, I moved into one of the stalls. The guy passed by and did not go inside. I waited a little while longer before looking out of the bathroom. When I did, I saw that the person was a ways down the hallway, once again near where my class was. I left the bathroom and quickly tried to walk to the other hallway, away from this guy. I must have been loud or something when I did, because as I was walking, I heard movement behind me. I looked and saw the guy looking right at me. He turned and started walking in my direction. The guy was really far behind me, at least over 100 feet.
He looks really big, so you should just straight up run,
out of that
like
hallway,
get out of there.
Took another one.
Me personally, if I was in this situation right here, okay. See those lockers, right? I'm guessing they're not bolted to the wall, okay? Right? They're not bolted to the wall. Let's say that, okay? Then you like run over there and imagine he doesn't see you. You move like right in the path where he can't see you, and you get your fingers like right there behind the lockers, and then he walks past, and then make the lockers fall down on top of him. Then run like you've never ran before. All right? Yeah.
By this point, I just wanted to get out of the school or far away from the guy.
I still need to check stuff. What's what the? I don't know what's what the. Is it because of that big guy? Is it because of him? Or what? What's with the what the? Cause he's still ugly, smugly, dugly, and bugly, bro. Yeah, yeah. He's ugly. Yeah. Right.
I walked down that hallway for a while and then took a left to another one. I was going to the stairs to go down to the first floor. As I approached the stairs, though, I heard somebody coming up the stairs. I stopped and didn't know who this person could be. When they came into view, I saw that it was a police officer. He asked me what I was doing, and I asked him what was going on. He told me that the school was under a lockdown, and they were searching for a suspicious man. I pointed him in the direction that I had last seen him. Then I went downstairs and saw several more officers. I showed them my student ID, and we found a nearby classroom, and I had to wait inside there until the lockdown was over. It lasted for probably about 15 more minutes, and then it ended. We were let out, and by then, it was time for the next class period. I'm not sure who that guy was, or what he was even doing.
Nah, bro, he looks like
I also
Frankenstein, though. He looks like Frankenstein. Bro, look at those tiny little mustache hairs. I got more mustache hairs than you, bro. You suck. He has 6 mustache hairs. I have about 1,000. This is kind of wild. I don't know if it's true or not. It says true, but you know, Fortnite, Peter, did that. Ooh. Hi, Bart. Hold up.
Don't know how he got into our school either. I hadn't been able to hear that we were going into lockdown though because my headphones were in and I couldn't hear anything. Looking back, if I would have known, I would have tried to go into any classroom. I don't know what would have happened to me if that guy caught up with me either, but I'm glad I didn't have to find out.
Hold on. I got a question for Ellie.
Are you having trouble trying to keep up with your professor?
Who are you?
You've got to try Otter. Here's how it works.
Otter?
Let's say I'm in class. I just hit record.
Okay. I got a question, Illy. Alright. So, first, how do people... Why do people get into schools just for no reason? Just to pull up and kill some children? That's stupid. Why would you do that? Yeah, no. Why would you do that? It's stupid. Why would you want to get in a school and grab out your gun? It doesn't make sense. Why though? It's so stupid. Alright, let's continue. What are they doing? Putting their hands out?
Alright, so picture this. I'm called in as a substitute teacher for a class that missed out on a field trip. The regular teacher and most of the students were out on the field trip, while I was left in charge of 4 students who didn't have their parent permission slips signed. To set the scene, I had just finished subbing for another class. Afterwards, I was asked to sub for this class, and the instructions were pretty straightforward. Play a Mythbusters video for the students, and hand out worksheets to keep them occupied. Sounds easy, right? Well, here's where things took an unexpected turn. Barely a few minutes into class with the video playing, the Fab Four, who seemed to be inseparable buddies, all raised their hands and requested to go to the bathroom. Now, being the laid-back sub that I am, I granted their wish, with a friendly reminder to return soon so we could finish the video together. They nodded eagerly, promising to be back in a jiffy, and headed out to the hallway as I paused the video. As I waited for them to return, a couple of minutes went by. Then, I heard a noise come over the intercom. There was an announcement that the school was now going in a lockdown.
Oh my gosh.
And this was...
Hold up. Is it those 4 boys that are at the lockdown? That are, like, doing the shooting or something? That would be wild.
Not a drill. This put me in a little bit of an odd situation. Panic started to settle in as I realized that these 4 kids were nowhere to be seen. Should I go out and search for them? Or should I stick to the lockdown protocols and secure the classroom by locking the doors?
His shoulders are so weird and his arms are so thin, bro.
I figured my students should be back any second, and I stood there in my classroom doorway for about another minute or so. In a moment of concern for their well-being, I chose to go find them. I figured they must be hanging out in the nearest bathroom, right? Easy to find, or so I thought. I hurriedly made my way to the hallway, fueled by a mix of worry and determination.
Really
I walked to the bathroom
bro.
as quickly as I could, and I got winded because I'm severely not in shape like I used to be, and I pushed open the bathroom door and knocked. I was hoping to find them and usher them back to the classroom. "Hey guys, we're on lockdown. You need to come back to the classroom," I called out, my voice echoing through the empty bathroom. But to my surprise, there was no response, not a peep. As confusion grew, I cautiously
He's in
pushed
the
the
girls'
bathroom door
bathroom.
open wider, half expecting them to jump out. But that wasn't the case. The bathroom was empty, not a single person in sight. My heart sank. Where on earth did these students go? I couldn't dwell on it for long, though, because my priority was to get back to my classroom. If the students had wandered off, then that was their fault. They would likely be found by another faculty member. With a mix of anxiety and haste, I retraced my steps, making my way back to the classroom that I was in charge of. I went inside and remained by the door. 10 long minutes went by,
Dude, you're
which felt like a
stupid.
whole hour, and still there was no sign of my students. Just when I was about to lose my cool from all the suspense, I heard this weird noise coming from inside the classroom. I quickly scanned the room, hoping to figure out where it was coming from, but there was nothing there, just an empty and
Comes
super
from
quiet
the
classroom.
ceiling.
I tried to tell myself it was just my mind playing tricks on me, but then I heard it again. This time, my eyes locked onto this person crouched behind a desk at the back of the room. I cautiously approached, my voice trembling when I asked, "Who's there?" I was praying it was just a student playing an elaborate prank, but to my dismay, the figure that rose up from beyond the desk was no student. It was a man, a complete stranger, and certainly not a student. I freaked out and sprinted out of the classroom immediately, desperate to find help.
All the weird
Now, as a grown
people
adult, you're probably
that like
wondering why I
break
bolted
in
and didn't stay in
are
the room and fight them.
ugly.
Well, like
It's
I said,
not
I'm not
all
as young as I
like that.
used to be, and
A
I'm
lot
not in
of them
shape, so the odds of me
are
winning a fight protecting myself are
weird.
like 4 out of 10. I pounded on the door of the nearest classroom, and thankfully, the teacher opened the door. Their expression quickly turned to concern as they listened to my explanation of what had happened. Without wasting a second, they dialed the school principal and alerted her about the new situation. Soon enough, the school became filled with activity as police
so it's
officers
not
were everywhere
a-
in the hallways.
It's not the
It turned out that the stranger I had encountered was the very person the school had been locked down for. He must have snuck into my classroom when I was down the hall looking for my students. This realization made my mind go black as I thought about all the possibilities that could have happened if I didn't run away from my classroom. It turned out that the missing students had taken refuge in another teacher's classroom. Nobody had thought to inform me, though. Rumors began to circulate that this intruder had ulterior motives, with whispers of him searching for someone specific or possibly carrying a weapon. The details remained vague, and the school kept the information tightly under wraps. Looking back on that day, I'm just grateful that everybody was okay. After that crazy incident, I needed some serious time off. When I finally went back to teaching, I had a whole new perspective. I will certainly never forget that day.
Bruh, that's wild. Hold on.
Welcome to another video, and before I start I wanted to say that I'm giving away
No, the students aren't dead. Illy, what did you think about that story right there? That story right there. Yeah. I kind of thought they were dead too, bro. But what do you think about that story? Scary? Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was scary, not that bad. But yeah. Kind of cool. Kind of not. I mean, no. Except why are all the like lockdown like people that get in all ugly? Ugly, smugly, dugly, bro. I don't understand that.
$10 gift cards. More info about how you can win later.
Alright, hold up.
This happened when I was 15 years old and a sophomore in high school. I was hanging out with a couple of friends before school
now
started.
the animation isn't
We were just
half
standing
bad.
around talking about dumb stuff that 15-year-olds do. Soon, the warning bell rang. We had to go our separate ways to attend our classes. I took my time heading to my class because my teacher, Coach Thompson, was pretty laid back and didn't mind if I was a bit late. He usually started class a few minutes late anyways, because he was also a sports coach and was always busy with that stuff. As I made my way to class, the school bell rang again. School was now starting, and I would be late, but I didn't think much of it and kept walking. The hallways were now empty. The intercom came back on, and there was an announcement that the school was going under a lockdown. I couldn't understand why. I was pretty confused. Everything seemed fine to me. I kept walking towards my classroom, thinking it might be a false alarm or a drill. When I entered the hallway where my classroom was located, I stopped and froze. At the far end of the hallway, there was a large man wearing a ski mask and all black. He also had combat boots on and a huge black duffel bag around his shoulder.
Oh, dang! That is a nice fit, bro. What's good, Jason? How you doing, bro? You doing good? How's the wife and kids, bro? Wild. It's Jason. Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees is my homie, bro. Oh, man. Illy left. Bye. Oh, well. Let's keep watching.
It took me a few seconds to process what was happening. The man in the ski mask hadn't noticed me yet, but then he turned his head and looked in my direction. I quickly ducked back around the corner, scared out of my mind. He had been standing right where my classroom was, so I couldn't go there now. The hallways were completely empty, and I started to panic. I knew the school pretty well, as I'd been there plenty of times prior to my sophomore year, so I went to the nearest place I knew, which was a nearby bathroom. I was hoping to stay safe in there until everything was over. I sat in a bathroom stall, trying to listen for any sounds, praying that the man wouldn't come inside.
Are you American? Because you would have a gun in your shoe.
I was terrified, and I didn't dare make a noise. I stayed in the bathroom, trying to calm myself down from hyperventilating. For maybe around 30 minutes, I was in there. It was completely quiet, and I couldn't hear much. But at one point, I did hear footsteps, and it really freaked me out. I really don't know who it was, but luckily, they moved past where I was, and then things went back to being silent. I just hoped whoever that guy I had seen was would not enter the bathroom. Finally, I decided that I would leave. I hadn't heard anything in the longest time. I thought it might be safer to get out of there, and I stepped out. When I did, I noticed the hallways were still empty and quiet. The lockdown was still in effect, and I had no idea what was happening. I cautiously started speed walking back towards my classroom, and I was very careful looking all around. I had made it about halfway back when I suddenly heard a noise that made me freeze. It was the sound of footsteps getting closer from the next hallway around the
whenever
corner.
he freezes.
It was happening all over again. I could feel the sinking feeling of the fear and the shock once more. I quickly turned around and went back down another hallway, trying to avoid whoever was coming my way. I glanced back for a split second and saw the man in the ski mask starting to come around the corner. In this point in time,
like the animation
I swear
now.
I could have ran a 4.3
I love
flat
the
in
running
a 40-yard
now.
dash. For once in my life, I was genuinely running for my life, and nothing else mattered besides that. It was a weird feeling. I didn't care about
hate
anything.
the running now.
Not
Just
girls I had crushes on, not my
just
homework, not even
like
my
2
job.
frames.
All I cared about was staying alive for myself.
Every second,
I
just
kept on running. Eventually, I stopped, unable to hear the man behind me anymore. I gathered myself and started walking towards the exit, hoping to find a way out. When I reached the exit, relief flooded over me as I saw multiple police officers outside the school. I ran for the door, and when they saw me, they waved me over. I was able to leave and breathe a sigh of relief. The man inside the school was later caught, but we never found out what his intentions were. The memory of that day haunted me, and my parents ended up putting me in therapy to help me out. No 15-year-old or anybody should have to experience anything like that. It's been about 7 years now, and I'm way better.
I kind of want to
We
experience
returned to our normal routines at school shortly after, and our school had a 24-hour cop for the next year. That made everyone feel a lot safer.
Oh my gosh,
Happy
he has a
nobody got
goatee
hurt,
now.
I was able to make it out alive. I wouldn't wish that experience upon my worst enemy.
That's awesome, bro. You're awesome. You got a goatee now. Crazy. Oh, that's it. Hey, bro, no problem. 29 true horror animated stories. Oh my gosh, 29. Mr. Lowender.
Building your online business?
Shut up. Oh my gosh. Did. I'm sorry, what? That looks like Cat in the Hat. Dude. Kindergarten? Kindergarten? Why? Oh my gosh, my eyes, dude. Just looking at it hurts. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, bruh. My eyes, dude. Oh my gosh. I want to watch it, but at the same time, I don't. Oh my gosh. Hold up. Alright. So, guys, that is going to be it, because we just watched an entire 29-hour, not 29 hour, no, a 25-minute video. I'm tired. Yep. So, yeah, what the Sigma? Yeah. So